Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, running a little bit behind, but let's bring to the stage Miss Brittany.
Hello, hello.
And let's bring to the stage the beautiful Miss Jantisha. Oh, I didn't press the button hard enough.
I know, I was like, delay.
I thought I pressed it and I'm waiting for it to pop up. It didn't pop up. But anyways, hello and how are you guys? Suni is supposed to be joining us as well. But you know, she's on that Suni time. Hey, remember when she said that she's never late? Do you remember that conversation, Brittany? No?
No, you sound like a robot underwater. Like
I sound like a robot?
It's not you, it's me. I'm just telling you, like, if I can predict what you're gonna say, then yeah, I can hear you. But if you're asking me a random question, I have no idea what you're saying.
That is not gonna be good.
This has been my life today. 10 days of blackout. Just Brittany. Just Brittany.
All right, so we're gonna start this show today.
Let me see if I can go somewhere else. Hold on. I'm trying to find out like where I have better service in my house because I live in the country too.
Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I see people watching from YouTube, so it did go on YouTube. Yes.
Oh, sweet. Our first video.
This is our first video on YouTube.
Let me just park it on my couch, I guess.
Oh, Larry said Suni's eating broccoli. She better not be. She knows I hate broccoli.
No, he's lying. She doesn't do that.
She's eating broccoli.
I like broccoli.
Oh, no, I can't stand the smell of it. Hello, everyone. Hello,
Carol says it says video has no sound. I don't know if that's maybe just her phone. Can everybody else hear us? We'll see.
Can you guys hear us? Oh, she said it's working now. Okay.
Okay, sweet.
So you guys, we're on Facebook and we are on YouTube as well. Just so that you know, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube. It's free. It's called Just Us. We'll post the link as soon as I can. Brittany, if you get a chance, can you post the link or you can't? Because you're okay. I'll post it.
About that.
Brittany's having technical difficulties tonight. You guys, please like and share the video. Okay, Wendy's on YouTube. Tina's on YouTube. I see you guys. Excuse me. I just drank some damn seltzer. It gives me the burps.
I
see a lot of people on YouTube. Yes, I'm so excited that it works.
I think it's the perfect show for stress because of my Wi-Fi situation.
It fits. We're all going through something. I'm telling you.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about stress, anxiety, things that lead to depression. A lot of people are going through it. And we're not talking about just with the election. Usually during the winter, it affects people who already have it even more so. The weather, COVID, people out of work, and all that whole everything. So we're going to kind of talk about that today. We're going to talk about how we cope with it, how we manage it, and how we get each other through it. We are going to start it with, I'm going to start it first with, I want to address for the YouTube URL. Thank you. Jantisha is the best. Okay, hold on. Let me copy that.
That's not your YouTube URL. That's to create your custom URL.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we cannot create a custom URL until we get 100 subscribers. I looked into it already.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Brittany.
We have 100 already, though. We have over 100.
Then that link should help you create a unique one just for you guys, because I don't have 100 yet, so I can't do it. I've been looking into for years.
We have over 100 already, so I think we can. But I was looking into it. But
That's my happy dance. I'm just kidding.
yes.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I will try to pin the link. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I'll try
pull it
to
up.
adjust that ASAP.
Yeah, find
Our
your
YouTube is Just Us. It is capital JUST, capital US, no space in between. It is Just Us. There's like a picture of, it looks like a flag, and it looks like a silhouette of a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to my Chelly page really quick, I posted it a couple days back.
So you're gonna make me scroll?
You gotta scroll, girl. Oh, I think I could get it too. Hold on, let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I can. Hold on. Let's get the YouTube out the way, and then we'll get into what we're going to talk about, because we need to talk.
You know, you can even post your link on your
I'm working on it right now too.
Part right here, your details, your about me info. You can post your link. You can't see it.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna have to do that. Brittany, you're gonna have to do that too.
What am I doing?
You could post it to your Facebook, like the link in your bio.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on one second.
I'm in here right now. I don't know what you're doing, Chelly, but
I'm literally looking for the link that I shared so I can copy and paste it.
I got it already. Give me a second.
Okay, wait. John Tisha beat me.
How many girls does it take?
For real. Oh, somebody posted it in the comments. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tanya.
Oh, that's so funny.
They're ready. They're not playing. They're like, here you go. So you could click on one of the links in Lynn Mark's comment. I think I could highlight it. Boom.
Okay. Boom.
Wait, is that us? I don't know. Is that us? I thought ours ended with an 8-1 something, something, something. No, that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I get it.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello.
I just posted in the private chat the actual the link from the browser. So.
All right. Why won't it let me copy it? All right, copy. Let's go to comments. Hold on, you guys. All right. I just posted what John Tisha. You can click on the Just Us. That's exactly what the picture looks like. So if you guys see it, that's what it is. It got the little blue flag. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, and thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. We are going to get into it. Brittany is there. She's in the big black box. She's on timeout.
I promise I'm here.
Brittany's on timeout.
I promise. Right now. I'm fixing this URL right now.
Okay, cool. So
and then I'll copy and paste it. Yeah.
While Brittany fixes that, we're going to talk really quick. We're going to talk about how people are stressed out, and for many reasons. Many reasons. People suffer from anxiety. People suffer from depression. We are going to get into how to cope with it, how to manage with it, and how we get each other through it. First, while Brittany's getting that together, I want to talk a little bit about the president's farewell address. So he did his farewell address. I thought it was very well stated. So we're going to play that for you guys. So let me pull that up. Now I just clicked that out the box. Hold on a second. Hold, please. All right, wait, I got to share my screen first. Dang it. Let me share my screen. Let me share a Chrome tab.
Oh, we have to be at least 30 days old.
Do we?
Yeah,
Go
100 or
ahead.
more subscribers.
Hey, you guys are a
Be
hot
at
mess
least
tonight.
30 days
You are a
old.
hot mess. Tell Chris don't judge us.
And yeah, we need a banner image. Well, that's lovely.
Tell
I
Chris
can
don't
make you a banner image if you guys have things you want to put on. I can make you one.
Oh, thank you. All right.
I do things like that, by the way.
Boats and
Look at
hose.
Keisha. All right, let me pull this up. I have to pull it up first. Sorry.
Brittany, what'd you just say? Chris was like, did she just say boats and hose?
He's absolutely right. That's what I
4
said.
years ago, we launched a great national effort
How do I stop
to
it?
rebuild our country, to renew its spirit,
All right, Mr.
and to
President.
restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission.
There we go. I think if I go back, it automatically presses play. All right, share screen. Let's go. Oh, share audio. Oh, thank God, I almost didn't do it. Let's share screen. If you guys could mute yourself while the video plays.
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word. I'd like to begin by thanking just a few of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible. First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter, Ivanka, my son-in-law, Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara. You fill my world with light and with joy. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife, Karen, and the entire Pence family. Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff, and the cabinet, and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service. My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House Military Office, the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people. To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat, but about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible. Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration had ever done before. We fixed our broken trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord, renegotiated the one-sided South Korea deal, and we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus. Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built. Without the foundations and footings, it wouldn't have worked out this way. We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had. We also unlocked our energy resources and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas by far. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and millions were lifted from poverty in just a few short years. It was a miracle. Stock market set one record after another, with 148 stock market highs during this short period of time, and boosted the retirements and pensions of hardworking citizens all across our nation. 401ks are at a level they've never been at before. We've never seen numbers like we've seen, and that's before the pandemic and after the pandemic. We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and brought back the beautiful phrase, made in the USA. To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed the largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow. When our nation was hit with the terrible pandemic, we produced not one, but 2 vaccines with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They called it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now, a medical miracle. Another administration would have taken 3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. We did it in 9 months. We grieve for every life lost, and we pledge in their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all. When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, We launched the fastest economic recovery our country has ever seen. We passed nearly $4 trillion in economic relief, saved or supported over 50 million jobs, and slashed the unemployment rate in half. These are numbers that our country has never seen before. We created choice and transparency in healthcare, stood up to Big Pharma in so many ways, but especially in our effort to get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court. We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written. For years, the American people pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We have given our brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before, and to enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again. Please don't lose that respect. We reclaimed our sovereignty by standing up for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interest. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces in 75 years, the Space Force. And last spring, I stood at Kennedy Space Center in Florida and watched as American astronauts returned to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years. We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. The Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony, not violence and bloodshed. It is the dawn of a new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home. I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars. Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding light, our North Star, our unwavering conviction has been that we are here to serve the noble, everyday citizens of America. Our allegiance is not to the special interests, corporations, or global entities. It's to our children, our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern, has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do. Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Together, we put the American people back in charge of our country. We restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America, no one is forgotten because everyone matters and everyone has a voice. We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights because we are all made equal by God. Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you. We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes, for these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality. What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history. We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America. The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity. That means focusing on what we have in common, the heritage that we all share. At the center of this heritage is also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only if we forget who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America. It's not even thinkable. Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values and most enduring traditions. In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or enforce rigid orthodoxy and punitive speech codes. We just don't do that. America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from those with whom we disagree. That's not who we are. It will never be who we are. For nearly 250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence. These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday citizens to set out across a wild continent and carve out a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle and our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years, one image rises in my mind above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people. They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag. It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country. This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction that America is the greatest nation in all of history. We are and must always be a land of hope, of light, and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past 4 years, I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh to a great square of Polish people in Warsaw, from the floor of the Korean Assembly to the podium at the United Nations General Assembly, And from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore, I fought for you. I fought for your family. I fought for our country. Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday, I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning. There's never been anything like it. The belief that a nation must serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve. Our communities will flourish. Our people will be prosperous. Our traditions will be cherished. Our faith will be strong. And our future will be brighter than ever before. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come. Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Can you guys hear me? So
Now
I
we
wanted
can.
to start with that because I know after hearing that, I still have not caught up on the messages that are sitting in my inbox. People are super upset. People are going through it. So I figured this was a great time for us to talk about all the emotions that people are feeling. So I figured we'd start with that video. Let's start with Brittany. How did that video make you feel?
Honestly, like I felt nothing. I know that might sound weird, but this whole like I get sucked into speeches real easily. Like I never followed Obama's presidency, but there was a State of the Union he did back in 2012 and I was like, he's the best person ever. Like I'm just so sucked into them. And I'm normally like that, but when I watch this today and even right now, I'm just kind of like, this isn't real. Like it just doesn't. Maybe if we had this like welcoming exit to where we were like, okay, it's all right. Dang, good game, guys. Like maybe I would be like, oh, we'll see you later. But like, I'm ready to roll, dude. I'm ready to like put up the dukes though. I'm not this peaceful, like, oh, we'll see you later, Donald. No, like I'm ready to brawl and I don't condone violence at all. But I'm just like, those are my feelings. Like this is, we'll see you soon, bud. Like that's more how I felt, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just not real feeling.
Let's go with John Tisha. She's still laughing at you. Going.
My bad. When I hear you said Donald, sorry, I hear funny words and I go off. My bad. That for real made me cry. The video didn't make me cry. Donald, that made me cry. Anyways, so how did it make me feel? Honestly, like she said, piggybacking off of Brittany, surreal is like the perfect word. Because despite all the evidence or despite everything that we're seeing right now, everything that's going on or whatever, like I have a surreal feeling, like, is this really happening? Is it really done? It feels like suspended, you know what I mean? Like in the air or in the water, just kind of like a cliffhanger almost like, what wait a minute. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Miss Suni. All right, just keep it real.
She's got a whole she's got a whole thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm waiting for it. Because I wasn't able to hear you rant today. I was on grandma duties. So I wasn't able to watch or catch up for that matter.
It's like, okay, he gave his farewell speech. Now everyone can stop with the, oh, it's gonna happen in March, or wait till just January 20th at 12 o'clock. This is gonna happen. These big arrests are happening. I'm almost just like, yeah, I didn't really believe in that to begin with. I had a hard time. You can ask everybody in the group chat. I'd be like, man, come on now. Come on. Are we going to stop now? Are we going to keep holding on to it? So I'm just like, everybody grasp reality. Okay. We got cheated out of an election. Plain and simple. I'm not going to say it hurts me because America has been corrupt. I'm not even surprised. I'm honestly not. And I was going to be honest, going into the entire election, I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach, like they're going to do something. And Trump's not going to get his second term. I was holding out hope, like, maybe there are parts of our government that aren't so tainted. But this just exposed that they're all corrupt, man. Supreme Court is corrupt. It's compromised. They won't even do their job. They won't even listen to court hearings. You got people in the House and the Senate doing whatever the hell they want to do. So I'm just going to be a realist on this and say, thank you for your 4 years because you sacrificed your life and your family's life. And he's still going to be sacrificing it because nobody's going to forget Trump. The left is not going to stop talking about him. I can guarantee you the next 2.5 years are going to be about Trump and how it's so hard to undo what he did and how he's just terrible. What else are they going to talk about? They talk about unifying stuff. What are you going to unify? You got the country split in half, literally. People hate Trump supporters. They hate our children. So what are you bringing back together? The only thing they've done is just ostracize us even more. So I think it's time for people to get ready for the real battle. People were like sad, putting crying faces when I was doing my live. But then ultimately, I think they understood what I was saying. I don't want to see people let down. Like, damn, what's going to happen now? What happens now is we pay attention to local government. What happens now is you keep going. It doesn't fall apart just because Trump's not in office anymore. In my opinion, that's weak. So I didn't feel anything. I watched it and I was like, I'm glad I got to hear him talk. I can't wait to hear him talking some more because I'm pretty sure he's going to be starting his own TV network. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen to keep people, in my opinion, sort of focused on the goal. But everyone, you got to stop putting your faith in Trump because he's a man. Was he used by God? Absolutely. But he's still a man.
But I'm excited, legitimately excited. And I said this a month or so ago when we were talking, or actually I'll say a couple months ago because it was before the election. I'm like, if he doesn't win, I'm excited for what this billionaire, we have to remember he's still a billionaire, does after his experience in the most corrupt seat in the world, or in the nation at least. He literally he's a civilian now. He can do whatever he wants. He does not care about the pension. He doesn't care about whatever. That's nothing to him. So to see is he gonna take Facebook down? Because I'm excited for that. Is he going to have his own, culture shock, basically? Because not only is he pissed off, but he's got 4 kids that are pissed off. They're all gonna follow suit. He might be 74 and almost 80 by the next election, but he's got 4 heirs that were so in sync with what he was doing and their spouses that it's gonna be. I'm excited. Like I've never ever in my life. I even lived in Vegas with the Trump Towers and never had a care about this orange man. But now, like, I'm so excited to see what he does, like with his money, with what he knows now. You know what he's learned. What he still knows people who know people who know people. You know what I mean? And even still with this the declassification of damn it, what's the her not nope not her is nope not hurricane, what the fuck is that thing called?
It's called hurricane.
Is it hurricane?
Yeah, it was hurricane. Hold on, the one you sent, right?
Yeah, hurricane whatever. Anyways, it's basically Obamagate without Obama. They've got dirt on Hillary and they know it's Hillary and they're saying it's Hillary. And honestly, I told the girls in the chat, I'm like, if one person like Pelosi could go down, I'd be excited. But if
Hell
it goes
yeah.
towards Hillary, that's cool too. Like just something, some type of change on the corruption. Like, and even John Solomon was saying like he doesn't think Biden's administration is going to fight the charges towards Hillary because nobody compromised is on his new administration. So why would he stop it? Especially if the press gets a hold of all of this, assuming they report it because it's juicy info. You know what I mean? So if they report it, there's no reason really for Biden to stop it because it doesn't affect him. It doesn't have the Obama and Biden info that we think, you know.
I'm
So,
excited.
Hurricane Crossfire. That's
there
what
we
it
go.
was.
Like the
I
old
can't
school game.
wait for all the content we're gonna have. We're gonna have so much content you guys don't
Exactly.
even realize.
I agree with you. For me, okay, so I saw it. I happened to sit and watch it, and I thought, one, I was glad to see him actually speak. I want to hear words out of his mouth. I think I was already over the conspiracy theories. Like, I think they're great and they're fun, but I think that I don't, just as a person in my life, like in my regular day life, I don't like to live on what ifs. I like to live on what I know. So, and the thing is that we don't know. Even right now, we don't know, right? Maybe that's all true. Maybe I believe there's a little bit of truth in everything. So I think that I said if you guys go back, I said that I'm going to hold out until the very end. Literally, I'm going to hold out to the very end until I see Joe Biden with his hand on a Bible. I hope it fucking burns right through, to be honest. But until I see his hand like on the Bible and they're like, you're 46th president, whatever, I'm going to hold out to the end, period. That's just me, right? Because I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be positive. It is what it is. I don't think that I really care too. I don't think I even really looked into much to conspiracy parts of it because, like I said, I'm just more of a realist. I think there has been one other time that I felt like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, this is it. So for me, like I said, I just think, what we do know is that tomorrow Joe Biden is supposed to be sworn in as the 46th president. I think that going forward, I worry about our future. I worry about the future of our children because a lot can be done in 4 years. Look how much Trump has accomplished in 4 years. I mean, I was literally going over the list today of his accomplishments. And I was like, wow. So I'm wondering what Joe Biden can do in 4 years. Not that I think he'll be president for 4 years, but that's another story. So I worry about that. But in the same respect, I think that we are going to have hella content. I'm going to ride his ass like Zorro, literally. And I'm going to hold him to the same standard that they've held Donald Trump. And that's not to be petty, because I don't want to be petty. I've always said that I respect the Constitution and I will abide by it. And if he is the president, then I will respect that. I don't have to like it, but I will respect it. But I want to see him put his money where his mouth is. So I want to see what that's like going forward. So, and I think it'll be eye-awakening for a lot of people who were on the fence, and for those people who voted based just because they don't research. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just kind of how it didn't make me sad. It didn't make me happy. Um, I usually don't. I'm not an emotional person, so it didn't make me emotional. But
Did you
Can I-
guys
can I-
kind of feel? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Some people have put a clip in the comments, and now people are saying, I watched it, how exciting. Can we please show it so I can show you that I need for people to stop? Like, I'm gonna turn into a jerk right now because this is the most obvious thing ever. Please, I'm begging you to stop. Stop grasping at strings. Stop holding out ridiculous hopes. Like, just please, for me, for my sanity.
What happened?
You're gonna see, and you're gonna crack the fuck up when you see you're gonna laugh.
I can't
Hey,
wait.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'm with you on that. So for me, I think he was the change we needed that in America. We needed that in politics. People need to see that. I mean, we know politicians are corrupt. They needed to see that. They needed to see a businessman could come in and do better than the politicians are doing, because the politicians, they're just people. Donald Trump is a businessman. He makes money. And so you're able to see what that looks like with somebody that does what he does in a position like that. But I've been saying for a while now, so what I watched, to me it was because we've heard it over and over. It's just, to me it was bland. It was nothing new. I think my whole thing personally with Donald Trump is just that they were attacking him. I stood up for him. But as far as his speech, I mean, we've heard it for the last 6 months to a year. And the reality is the Democrats, they told us last year, they told us that they were going to change the way the election process was. None of this should have been new to anybody. They lightweight hijacked our election. Joe Biden won. There's nothing we can do to prove it or say that it was big enough, and we got to take the L. It is what it is. Sometimes the shit happens. And I think instead of people looking at the negative, saying, okay, Donald Trump lost, or hoping for a Hail Mary at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we should be looking towards, okay, let's hurry up and get Joe Biden in here. We know that's where it's going. Let's get Joe Biden in here. Let's get Kamala Harris in here, and let's see what they're going to do. Because the left has slammed Donald Trump for the last 4 years. Well, as soon as Biden comes in, I'm not saying I'm going to slam him, but I'm going to do to him what I'm doing to Newsom. I'm on him. What are you doing and what are you messing up? And start calling it out and calling people out, and let's move forward. Because right now, we're just repeating a cycle of craziness. What is it called? Insanity?
Yeah.
We're like in a cycle of insanity. People just want the same thing keeps happening. They keep expecting a different outcome, and it's like, come on, we're past this. Let's move on.
yeah, I think for me, I agree with you. I think I'm grateful so much because I was not a fan of his, but I'm so grateful that I was able, because of his movement. I don't think the movement is going to go anywhere. Like, MAGA is going to be here to stay. Like, it has enlightened people. It has opened up a whole new realm for people. And I think that it has made people wiser, people like me. Like, literally, I'm going to get involved on things on a local level. And because we have to start at the bottom, literally, we need to start draining the swamp ourselves, and we need to do our part. If Donald Trump as a businessman can come in and make America great and give people so much hope and have that, literally, that tsunami of red, because we all know it was a tsunami of red. I think that we can do our parts. Like, it has like woke something up in me, and I will like hold my local politicians accountable. I've already started reaching out to them, to be honest, because they're trying to pass some bullshit in my state. So I've already started there. And I think that for that, I'm grateful.
Chris
Like-
was so on it that he got blocked by Stockton's mayor.
Last mayor, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Previous.
And I'm with you on that.
Newest former mayor. He just got blocked on what, Twitter?
No, on it was on Twitter, and I'm with you on that. I mean, I know everybody wants to focus on the big picture, but this is something I've been saying for a long time, is that if we want to make change, it starts at home, and then you take that out into your community, and then you move forward through your county, through your state, then through the nation. But the problem is that nobody wants to start at home. They want to go straight to the nation and make the big changes. No, it's got to start at home. And then I'm with you. We got to take it to these city mayors. And as soon as Michael Tubbs lost, where's it at? As soon as he was lost and he got put out, I got blocked from his IG page. I know it was in here. And I was like, that's cool. It is. I mean, he's no longer in that spot, so he doesn't have to keep it open. But I mean, I don't know. I must have pissed him off good enough for him to do that.
Because they can't handle the truth. They just
Can you
cannot
pull
handle
that
the
video
truth.
up, Shelly?
What, honey buns?
I shared it. Can you pull that video? I
Oh,
shared it on the screen.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm gonna see everybody on this screen bust out laughing.
A lot of work and a lot of effort, and this is not going to be solved overnight. It's not going to be solved within the coming weeks. It's not going to be solved within the coming months. This is going to be a long-term investigation, and rest assured, the Bureau, the Department of Justice, all the U.S. attorneys across the United States that are assisting these investigations, everyone is in for the long haul.
Joe Biden's swearing-in ceremony. He will remain in federal custody until a detention hearing on Friday. The former governor.
What? Did you see that? Did you see that terribly bad edit? It went from one production or one thing they were talking about, and then they cut that part off and then made sure they stitched it to where Joe Biden would be in federal custody. Joe Biden is not in federal custody. This is not even AON quality, and I can't stand them because there's a rights version of CNN. They report so many false and inaccurate things. Somebody recorded this and then pieced it together. Please. I'm begging you. Oh my gosh, man. I can't.
Yeah, I was like, damn, even my computer skills are better than that, and my computer skills suck. Seriously. But so anyways, like a lot of people are feeling some way, like, and we're not here trying to tell you how to feel, or you have to feel what you feel. We all are we have similar goals, and we talk all the time, so we pretty much know how one another feel, but we all feel somewhat different, right? And I think that people are so, with COVID, with the weather. Well, I don't know, unless you live in Chicago, because in Chicago it's free. It's like 21 degrees shit. But usually when winter comes around and it starts getting dark earlier, people their anxieties get the best of them. And people go into depressions. And it just, if you do not take care of it, it can get out of control really, really quick. So for myself, I don't suffer from anxiety. I don't suffer from depression. But even just feeling like overwhelmed, or you work, you're a mom, you're a grandma, you have house, I have a husband, I have things that I got to take care of. Feeling overwhelmed, like I work out, like that's my release. Like I need a release. I have all these beautiful people on the screen that I'll shoot messages to, or we talk, or we laugh and we joke, or we do crazy videos like we did the other night, talking about Sunni's broccoli. But if you guys missed it, I took it down, and Sunni, I didn't tell you. I went to sleep that night, and I thought I deleted it.
You left it up.
I woke up the next morning with all these messages. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, only me. Boop. But anyways, so for me, those are like little ways that I release. Like I talk to my friends. Like I surround myself with people who are happy. I surround myself with people that are very real and straightforward, because I think when you're around people who tell you what you want to hear, it's more of a letdown when those things are not accurate. You know what I mean? Like I love real people. I love people that are just straight up And it just kind of, for myself, it helps me get through. And again, it doesn't work for everybody. There are people with serious anxiety, and you probably should see somebody if you are suffering, and all the things that we're going to talk about today doesn't help you. Okay? Any of you guys want to talk about it?
I don't.
I'm sorry, talk about what?
How you cope with anxiety, depression, any
Well,
tips or clues for people?
You want to talk about personal stuff?
Well, well, that's how people relate, Chris.
Well, hey, just sit down and tell us about his. Tell him we're going to counsel him, all of us.
Well, Chris has anxiety, so I used to give him a hard, like, poke fun at him because that's between us. But then I developed it. Like a few years ago. I always say a few years ago. It was probably like 5 years now. But I was in a really tough mental space. We're all moms, so I think you guys will relate here in a moment. Like you can become a parent, and you become a spouse or significant other, and you have all these little humans to take care of, and trying to be a woman, trying to be a wife, trying to be all these hats, right? And when I just lost who I was in all of that. If you asked me what I liked at the time, what I enjoyed, I couldn't tell you. I was so sad, and it was like I felt like I'm just a mom. Even though that's a really beautiful thing, I felt I'm just a mom. Like I don't do anything else. There's nothing else I have to offer. Like this is it. Like I felt horrible. And so during that time, like I know my endurance is like poopy right now, but at the time it was really bad. And I developed anxiety, and thankfully, I mean, not at a good thing, but thankfully he already knew how to deal with it. So I had a partner who understood what I was going through. So when they would start to come up, when everything started getting muffled or too loud, or I couldn't focus, or I couldn't breathe, I could look at him and grab his arm, and he would know I'm having a moment, and he would be able to help me through it. And one of the biggest things that I learned going through that, dealing with that feeling, was literally just learning how to breathe. What is so funny? You guys laughing at my anxiety? What's going on here?
No, you know damn well that's not what we're laughing at. No,
I know.
Suni coughed, but you have an echo, and it like made the loudest sound in the whole world. Sorry. I don't have I do have my earphones, but I didn't want to put them in because then he can't hear. No, it wasn't you. We love you. Sorry it came off that way.
No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. But literally, like being able to breathe through the moments, like the entire action of just letting it out, just releasing it, just letting go. That was a huge thing. And it was like an indicator to my kids at the time that mom was having a moment and I'm trying to work through it. And I'm like, I would literally close my eyes and just breathe. And I say it a lot now, like just breathe, take a moment, stop whatever you're doing if you can, take a moment, literally just breathe and let it go. That's one of the huge things. And understanding that there's nothing outside of myself that I can control. Not a single thing. The only thing that I control is what I allow to go through my mind, what I allow to hold on to, what I allow myself to believe, what I allow to affect me in a certain way. It's not always easy, but it's a practice thing. And the more that you practice that, the easier it is for me to move like water. Just going back and forth in the rhythm, being able to just go through whatever life is bringing. It's not always easy, but it's a practice thing. So for me to just breathe and understand and know that I don't control anything outside of myself, And if I let external things affect me in such a way, then that means that I gave way too much of my power away to anything and everyone else other than myself, when I am strong enough to handle all that, because that's how God created me. And prayer. Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, that's a whole other like thing though. But as far as like coping through stress and anxiety, that's some of the plausible things that I can just grasp onto and share, other than faith and spirituality.
Same for me. I didn't mention it, but exact same for me. Like, I've been through a lot of things in life, and people would be like, "Did you ever go to therapy for this?" And I'm like, "I don't need therapy." Like, and I've been able to not need therapy. Some people do, but I've always prayed, and my faith has gotten me through my darkest nights, and I have found ways to cope.
Well, I think everyone knows how I cope at this point.
Someone put it in the messages. We're like, we know how Sunni copes. The tough pass.
No, I'm still going through my struggles. Everyone saw me have my moment in front of a camera. It's easier now because I was able to say everything out loud, get it out there. It doesn't feel like I'm harboring a huge secret anymore, like I'm hiding. I've just been able to just be like, honestly, fuck it. All right, this is what it is. There's no point in me tripping about it. And everybody's like, how are you so chill all the time? Because I can't do anything about what's outside of me. My life is wonderful. I have 3 beautiful children. I'm on an amazing island. I have a good husband. There's nothing for me to complain about. Yeah, I'm mad about Trump.
And you have me, excuse you. Rude and disrespectful.
But I feel I'm happy. Like, the first time in a long time, I'm happy. I have my moments where I deal with anxiety, and I've had those moments with Chelly where I'm like, ugh, I'm on edge. My patience is like it's at its -0. I don't even have patience at that point. And I have to get myself together. Like, slap yourself in the face in the morning, throw some water on your face and be like, come on, get yourself together. I'm not an emotional, touchy-feely person. I'm just not. I don't like feelings. I'm not going to sit there and pour my heart out. I just don't do that. So for me, it's kind of like, get your ass back in gear. This is what you got to do. You can't sit there and cry about it, because crying about it ain't going to fix it. So how can we fix it? And I actually learned that from my husband, because he's like, I used to want him to like want to cater to me and be like, oh, it's okay. And he's a fixer. Men are fixers. They just want to fix what's wrong and let's move on. So I adopted that from him. We can fix it or we can't fix it, but we're not going to stay here all day.
Same.
That's just me.
Miss Brittany.
So when I was like, I don't know, 7, 8 maybe, my mom went to a Dale Carnegie seminar, and she brought home this plaque of completion, and it was basically like his famous quote, you can't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. And I never knew that I needed that quote. It just kind of stuck with me in life. And it's kind of funny because growing up, I've always had social anxiety. I always felt people were talking crap about me. Like, girls would be talking about their periods or something in private, and I'm like, damn, those bitches are talking about me. What's up with my hair? Like, that was just me. I got picked on a lot. Like, that was just me and how I grew up. So I'm like, my personality is that type of introvert extrovert. Like, I crave social environments. I want to be out, but then when I'm out in them, I'm like, oh, don't everybody look at me now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like curl back, or like a turtle back in its shell. And it's funny because I'm often compared to like the dude in the relationship. Like, I always match with my friends' husbands, so I take on that mentality, and it's probably the military too, but I take on that like, okay, what are we going to do about it? If you're not going to listen to me and we're not going to fix this problem, then shut the fuck up. Like, that's just my mentality. It's how I treat myself, and it's how it is. So I don't necessarily like sulk. I don't, I can't get out of bed. I'm not there for, I don't want to say do the dramatics and to insult anybody. So don't think that, but I don't do the overextensive, typical depression things. Just actually this past year, through the VA, I did get diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and anxiety. And I don't cry, guys. I really don't cry. Like, if I cry, it's something stupid like a Disney movie from my childhood. It's not like people are like, oh, my grandma died. And I'm like, ooh, they're there. Like, I don't know how to handle those situations. Like, I'm just not a sensitive person at all. So when I'm hearing these things, I'm like, I mean, I get a temper, but what? Like, that's a pretty big diagnosis. So I had to start thinking about it. And kind of like John Tisha said, like, as a mom, we literally, like, I don't cry, but I don't really want to go anywhere either. I don't care. Like, when my husband's like, oh, let's go to the beach, I'm like, do we have to? It just kind of like, I just don't really want to go do things. I'm cool in my house. It's so much easier just to stay here. Like, I have the other symptoms. And I'm also the type of person that I'm like pretty lazy by nature. So if I don't have a million things going, I kind of like shut down. So I think my autopilot is to just do all the things at once because I'm a psychopath. I don't know. But so like I'm in school right now full time. I have a side gig. I do this stuff with you guys. I like do the I've got 3 small kids who are in 2 different schools. Like, there's just always something going on, and it's crazy because my husband will come home at the end of the day and he's like yelling at the kids, go brush your teeth, do this, eat your dinner. And he's like, why are you not calm? And I'm just like in my chair, numb, like, what's up? Like, he's like, how are you not stressed? And I'm like, because, dude, I can't be. Like, I started getting into that irritated, angry person to where I was just so pissed because I'm a control person. And I couldn't control things, and it was getting me irritated. And so, like, we have a thing in our house that's called Fuck It Friday, where, like, if the kids wake up and it's like 10 o'clock and they're like, Mom, can I have this cookie? I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Like, it's Friday. Like, because I just don't care anymore. And that's how it's not that serious to give them the one cookie on the one Friday. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? They're not going to die. Like, it's not a big deal. So I've had to literally, like, I get straight A's, y'all, but my house gets pretty freaking cluttered sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to like pick and choose what's more important, and prioritize. And, I've had to really work on like time management, because that's a huge thing. Time management, like, I'm the worst at it, but I have to have it with my schedule to stress less. But the biggest thing is, like I said, that quote, don't stress the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Like Suni said, you can't control your exterior forces. You literally cannot do anything. If there's something I can take control of, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it right now. But if I can't, oh well, we'll see. We'll see. Because if I can do something about it, I obsess over it. I'm like, okay, here's plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, because that's my anxiety. It makes me have all the plans. But like, if I can't, I'm like, all right, I can't. I'm out. I'm tapped out for now. I'll visit this another day, because it's not worth it. Like, you literally have to self-reflect. And I don't pray. I won't talk to a therapist. I'm too proud. Like, I've seen like a couple therapists. I'm like, this bitch ass don't know shit. Like, because they tell you stuff you don't want to hear. You're like, I don't fucking need you. So I don't do those things. So I had to dig deep. Like, and mind you, I'm 34. I just got this diagnosis this year, 2020. So like, having to dig deep to get where I am. And every year is better and better as I get older, I think. But mom life's hard, y'all. Like, I have, my kids are what, 2, 4.5, and 7. I still don't, I have to think real deep about what I'm into or what I like. But I'm like, we're done, so I'm good. I'm like, okay, they're getting older, more self-sufficient, and there's gonna be a 2.0 Brittany, in a couple years, because
Hey,
I ain't letting
wanna
this shit
know?
hold me down.
You want to know how to find your hobby, bro? Just go get a dub and sit down. That
You're
is how you do it.
roboting.
I'm roboting.
To me only. It's fine.
Okay. So I have 3 kids. I started having kids I got married when I was 20, 19, 20. I had my first kid when I was 21. I had no life experience because I sat at home with my mom. My mom didn't require me to do much. So I was like, by the time I was 26, I had never gone out, never had alcohol, and I had never done anything. I was just me and my husband since we were 17. So I felt like, dang, okay, I don't have a degree. I didn't go to school. I didn't do any of these things. I'm just a mom. But I found my friend. I found my friend. And I'm telling you, in that, I got closer to Jesus because I felt like clear. That's what it does for me. I don't smoke to get high. I'm not one of those people. Like, I'm not a pothead. I smoke. Hold on. I have to go into the gate, the military people. Hello. I got the. Sorry. I don't smoke to get high. I smoke to be clear-headed because if I don't, it's just 1,000 thoughts in my head that never shut up. And I don't know how to shut them up. Sometimes just sitting there breathing, like, and talking to a counselor doesn't work. I went to a counselor here, right? I went to a counselor here. And I'm driving, I'm like, shit, I still have my Trump hat on. Because I know everybody doesn't like Trump. And I'm not going to be one of those ultra patriotic people that are just like, MAGA 24/7. But I had it on and I'm like, okay, whatever. As soon as I went in there, she gave me the hardest time ever. I told her I was struggling with the fact that my family has ostracized me. You know, people that I was extremely close to have given me the finger. People that my kids got close to and they were really like a part of my life, they're not there anymore. So that was an adjustment for me. And do you know, she told me that I hurt them and that I should recognize that politics is bigger than just who I choose to support. She made me feel like shit. So counseling is not for everybody. And I refuse to ever go back to one. I'm not interested in going back. I found what works. The podcast works. Having friends that have gone through the same experiences as me, you don't feel so crazy. Like, I can't be the only one struggling with this. You meet other people that have the same struggles as you do, and you're like, okay, so I'm not the only one with this trauma. And you need a dub. That's the best thing ever.
Go.
All right, so since we're talking about problems, if this was a couple years, no, when she went through her stuff, I would have never talked about it. Paranoia, anxiety, depression. What else? I think those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you? Yeah.
For me, it was, so it controlled my life until I did it in anger. So I agree with you on the counselor. So I went to parent counseling with my, because the judge said I had to or recommended it, and I was like, I'll do it because it was over custody of my son. And my thing was, is I don't have an anger problem, but if the baby mama says I do, then I'll do it just to show you that I don't, and then to get there to realize that maybe I kind of do have a somewhat of a problem. Yeah, son's mom, not my wife. But after talking to the counselor, I was like, you know what? I do. I hold a lot of stuff in. But I get what you're saying, because some counselors and their therapists, whatever, some of them are shitty and they're no good at their job. And some of them are. I've met both. That lady, when I started talking to her, I realized that I was holding on to a lot of stuff, and my anger was not all the time. It was like built up, and then if you were that person that it got taken out on, it, that's what it was. As I went through my anxiety, I mean, the depression, I think I got over that kind of on my own, just kept pushing forward. But the anxieties lingered around for years. And for me, because I am a fixer.
A lot better now.
Yeah. I had to figure out where the root cause was, because something had to trigger that. Some events had to happen. So I think I've helped myself more than sitting down with somebody's helped me. So I did feel like I was by myself for a long time. I didn't feel like anybody would understand me. I didn't want to talk about it because I thought people think I, had some mental condition and, I was sick or whatever. So I kept a lot of it to myself and I just struggled, which led to like drinking and a lot of drinking. And I think it was the day that I really, I want to sit here, I want to fix myself that I started looking what caused the problems and what can I do to make them better, because I don't know if I'll ever be 100%, but I'm definitely not going to be like I was. So like my paranoia, I realized what kind of brought that into my life and it was at a young age and things that had happened, and I've worked on it. So when I walk outside in the morning, I'm not on my toes, scanning left and right, which then brings my anxiety up. I have to remember, I don't live in the hood no more. I don't live in this crappy neighborhood. I don't live around these people. I could walk out and breathe. I'm still going to scan out of my safety. But once I started figuring out those little things, the biggest thing that I've done, it was a book. It was called The Question Behind the Question. I read this book and there was a chapter in there and it talked about nobody has a right to steal your happiness.
Correct.
And when I read that, it put so much of the things that I was going through into perspective. And I wasn't happy. And a lot of times it's because I was letting other people take my joy. I was letting them take my happiness for all the wrong reasons. And I think once I kind of figured that part out, I was like, man, I do a lot to myself. I bring a lot of this stuff onto myself. So I started working on it. You're rarely going to see me upset. And when I do get upset, I found I had to find ways to deal with that. I'm like Brittany, you were talking about the control, having to have a bunch of stuff done. That's like, I went through with her where like, I want a clean house. I want this, I want that. Like, that's just who I am. And I went through like, I have all these expectations of other people that's not fair. That brought me anxiety. I had to reel that back in. It's really like you really have to dig deep into yourself and do a little searching. Because to me, I think no counselor or therapist, if you can't be honest with them, you're never going to get to a point of understanding you and your problems and what's going on. And I'm not saying that it's going to heal quickly or that it's going to ever go away, but getting it under control is a big thing. So now for most days, like my anxiety, maybe I might get into like an what do you call it, panic attack or anxiety attack or whatever, maybe once or twice a year. And I shit you not, if I do feel it coming on, I'm on the floor, like I'm laying on the floor breathing, because if I don't stop what I'm doing, it'll just build up and then I lose it. Like it's my technique, and it might seem weird to other people, but for me, it literally grounds me. Because if I don't stop, I will freak the fuck out, and it's a bad night for like at least another hour or two. It's a bad day. I just literally I'll stop, I'll feel it coming on, and I'll just lay there. And I take my time and I just I have to let it out. That's just one of the ways I've dealt with it. And melatonin. Melatonin at night. Because if I don't, I'm like, I'll be thinking of some like just constant thoughts about what I'm gonna do the next day. Like I have to help shut the brain down. So melatonin, some sleepy time tea, and I'm good.
The question behind the question.
I do I do vitamin D in the winter because I need my sunshine. And when I don't get it, I found vitamin D helps a lot. I take like 60,000 IUs or something ridiculous just because. But weren't you in the military too, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. So see, we have that culture where we were told to like suppress it. Like you didn't want to have a bad day even because you get sent to mental health and then you have zero security clearance because they think you're psycho. And so it was this stigma to basically suppress how you felt. Like you needed to hide it. And then also another thing that I had somebody tell me And I didn't even realize it. I tried to be the GM at a Wendy's out here because I was like, yeah, I'll have a piece of cake job. You know, I'll just be a manager at a fast food place, just relax. It'll be fine while I'm going to school. And then they're like, oh, you know, not just a manager, a GM. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, I got this. But then I was not, people were not smart to put it not nicely. But it was just like the common sense was so lacking, and I had to have somebody tell me, like, who was also a veteran. He's like, you're just not demilitarized yet. Like you literally in the military, and yes, there's jackasses in the military, don't get me wrong, but it's like there's a reason for everything. It's organized, everybody's on it. You say go do this, people are doing it, and it's like to get out of that mentality is so hard. Like even with my husband, I'd be like, hey, could you take out the trash? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he'll like continue to sit there, and I'm like now, like, you know what I mean? Like he's like, well, why didn't you just tell me right now? And like, because in my mindset, like that means right now, like, you know what I mean? Just because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to the go, go, go. Like, and if you don't go, like, why not? Why wait till you forget about it? And it's just a different wiring. And I know some people are like that outside the military too, but you put those two things together of like where we were literally taught to suppress our feelings, and then the inability to adapt to the outside world, and people don't have that. You know, people are like walking down the street and we're like, we gotta go. Like it's just totally different mindsets, and I feel like it's a different challenge in itself. Like,
Oh, answer that one.
Wendy asked, does melatonin make me feel groggy? Yes, if I don't get like enough sleep. So like if I'm gonna take it, like if I know my mind's racing and I got a whole bunch of thoughts, like what was it last Thursday?
Well, now I know that's why.
Yeah. Like I took it at like 7:30, 8 o'clock or something like that, and some tea, and I was out by like 9. And I'm talking like I had to get like 8 hours. If I don't, I'll call into work. And I've done that. A part of me much rather have sleep than go into work and
it
be
depends
agitated.
it depends on what he did that day or what he's done all week. Some weeks he'll go and go and go and go to the point where he has no choice because his body's done, or years ago he would just get sick. He would work himself sick, and then I'm like, yo, you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to relax. He's gotten a lot better. Like if I've made lunch or something, he would work through it. Yeah, so now I make him come in, sit down and eat something instead of take his food outside and eat while he's working. Instead, come inside and do that.
I think a lot of that has to do, and that goes back to like that. I think that's why I fit so well into the military, was because sometimes it is go, 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 go. Yeah. And they call it working lunches. And I'm like, cool, I could do working lunches. Like, let's just keep moving, especially if there's something to do. Like I have things at home that I need to get done. Those are priority. And I'll take 3, 4, 5 days to get it done because I can't sleep or think about anything else until that. And if I don't get it done, then I get anxiety because it's just a constant cycle that I go through, that I battle with myself on top of other things that I battle with, which I'll be the first one. Like, I'll be honest, like I think about drinking. I don't drink. I won't say I'm an alcoholic, but it runs in my family. I think about drinking every day. I don't drink every day, but those are those things where like, I know if I get into a certain cycle and we are all allowed to have a weak moment. It happens. It's about catching it. At least to me, it's about catching it and bouncing back from it, because I do have weak moments where I'll start drinking and then it'll be 2 or 3 days. And like, I'm talking during the weekdays, and it'll be a Wednesday and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again. I know now. And that leads into my anxiety. It makes my paranoia worse because then I get tired. I'll get into a deep cycle real fast. Into the cycle real fast, and I'll throw myself down and probably get sick or just wear myself out. But it really comes down to knowing myself. And like she said, like I'll go and go and go. It's just reflecting on or knowing now what triggers it and what's leading to it, and stopping and breathing, and then especially like you got to have
That's huge.
and you got to have somebody to back you, like to cash that with you. Like I do it for her, she does it for like she's my support system. I got friends. I think we all got a group of friends, especially like my military buddies. It's so much easier to talk to them because they understand it. I don't feel weird. Like I could go to them and be like, hey man, I was going through some shit yesterday, or we could talk baby mama drama or whatever it is, and I can get something on my chest. Like you gotta have, they don't gotta be your best friends. Like a lot of the people I talk to, like they're not my best friends. We don't hang out, but we will sit down and have a powwow and get some stuff off on our chest, and we'll throw, like we're doing now. We'll listen to each other and we'll throw different things like this is what I did, or this is how I deal with it, or this is how I feel when it comes on. And those moments like this, I think have helped me more than any counselor.
I agree.
Or going through it myself.
I think that people need to find. Am I echoing? Okay. So I think that people need to find what works for them. It's not easy, right? I think one of the things Chris said the most is learning what triggers you, knowing what your triggers are, being aware of them, being able to spot them. Like I said, myself, I have had probably 2 panic attacks in my life, and I didn't even know what was happening to me. Like I was 9 months pregnant, and my husband and I had like a really bad argument. I can't even remember what it was about now, but I literally could not breathe. My chest was tight. My heart was beating so fast. You could literally see it through my clothes. It was so fast, and I could not catch my breath. Like I had to call an ambulance because I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was like literally gonna die, and they said I had a panic attack, and I'm like, a panic attack? Like, but I'm like one of those people, I internalize everything. And I hold it in, and I hold it in because I'm like one of those people in my head. Like I still have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and I don't have time to deal with everything that's in my head. So, and then I've had another one other time. Thank God I've not had it more than that. Like I said, for myself, I've always kind of like veered to working out. I do have sleep issues. Where melatonin, someone in the comments mentioned that melatonin doesn't work for them. Melatonin doesn't work for me. I take a lot of medication, so therefore my resistance to medication is very, very high. So what might work for Chris will definitely not work for me. Like they put me on muscle relaxers because I have lupus, so they want me to sleep at least 6 hours a day. I've not slept 6 hours a day since I was 16, to be honest. But so they started on muscle relaxers because I'm like, I don't want to take any more unnecessary meds. And it didn't work. Like I was able to work out. I was able to do all these things. They started hiring the dose, and they're like, how are you still functioning? So finally, after years fighting with my doctor, they put me on Ambien. And I've heard all these horror stories. And so I was terrified. Like, I'm like, I don't want to sleepwalk. I heard all these people, like crazy things that happened to them while they were on it. It was the only thing that actually worked for me. I know that people get addicted to it, so I don't take it daily. But there's been days where I will be up for 3 days straight. Like I will be wide awake 3 days straight. And my husband would be like, you need to sleep. And I'm like, but I can't close. Like literally thoughts in my head are just like constantly going. Like, and even though I'll pray on it and I'll do, because that's I'm like, I don't want to go to, I just feel like for me, therapy, I'm like, you really don't know what I'm going through. And I think, how can you tell me anything when you just like people that I've seen that are therapists, I'm just like, I just don't feel like you're relatable. Like I don't feel they're relatable. So for me, I'm like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to be, and I think part of it is my pride. Like, I'm one of those women that I'm like super strong. People are like, how do you do all these things a day? Right? Like I don't know how you do it, girl. So I feel like part of it is probably my pride too. But the Ambien, when I'm on that streak where my mind is running and I can't sleep and I'm 3 days out, I'll take one. and it'll help me relax. It won't knock me out completely, but it'll let my body calm down. It'll let my mind kind of calm down.
Did you just say 3 days out, like you up for 3 days straight?
3 days straight. Literally
Yeah.
3 days straight.
Yeah.
Not
Take
a,
Ambien. Yes.
not an hour of sleep, not a wink of sleep, not a cat
See?
nap. Like
See,
I
and
will
what's
be up
funny?
for 3 days.
What's funny is I've never tried melatonin, but when I was in the military, I worked graveyards, and if you've ever worked graveyards, that messes you up so bad. And I was
18
on
years on
graveyards.
midnight.
Yeah, that's why you're all jacked up. No, I'm just kidding.
You know
It,
what?
like,
You're probably right.
it messes with you. Like I was so I got insomnia, obviously, and it was funny because when Chris was talking and he was like he does stuff for 4 days straight because he has to get it done. The part that like, because I've never had an anxiety attack, so this is why I tell you I don't fit the bill for the typical depressed, anxiety ridden person at all. But literally one night I like didn't remember if I switched the clothes from the washer to the dryer, and I'm like in bed, everybody's sleeping. It's probably like 1 a.m. And instead of just letting it go to the next day, I physically had to walk to the dryer to see if I switched the clothes. Like, it pained me. It literally physically pained me to sit there any longer without checking it. And I was like, okay, some shit's going on. You know what I mean? So when I was in the military, and I worked graves, they had me on, I got insomnia, and I actually got sick because I couldn't sleep. And when you can't sleep, you don't get better. So I was sick for like a month, and I was taking NyQuil and, to help me get through it. But after like a month of NyQuil, I'm like, I don't want to keep taking NyQuil. People literally, are addicted to this drug. And so, I went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, you probably just have insomnia, whatever. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try Ambien. Not that I feel either one of them is better than the other at that point. But I literally, I took an Ambien because I have a high tolerance. I have addicts in my family. So that's where I think my high tolerance comes from. But I took an Ambien and I woke up 3 hours later. It did not work on me. Literally, like, no. And then if I took the NyQuil, I was zonked out for 6-7 hours. So it was so weird how my receptors in my body, like the NyQuil knocked me out longer than the Ambien did. Like, it was a trip. You're muted.
Sorry. I said usually what they do is like for women, it's like 5 milligrams. That's what they start you at. Men, they're at 10 milligrams because women, if they take 10 milligrams, they've been known to walk in their sleep and like injure themselves, all these things. So for myself, like the 5 milligrams was nothing to me. I'm like, that's like taking a Tic Tac, like nothing. So then 10 milligrams, then 15 milligrams, then 20 milligrams. So I have like a really high, like I don't know, just for medication, like even with like anesthesia and stuff like that, they're like, we have to give you like so much. And I don't know if it's because I've had lupus since I was 31. So I've been on medication for years, like tons of medication for years. So I don't know if that's what it is, but anything, even the dentist, they're like, can you still feel this? I'm like, yeah, I still feel that. Like, they're like, well, let's wait a while. We'll wait like an hour. And they're like, oh, no, we're going to have to give you more. So I don't know. It's just something with my body, I guess. But literally, so I would take an Ambien if I'm at that point where I'm 3 days, literally, and it winds up, it's like in threes. I'll be wide awake. My head it's like I'm thinking all these things and I feel like I have so much to do and no time to do it. So I'm trying to like in my head, trying to organize life. And I did work midnights. I worked midnights for 18 years. So I was a 9 to 5. I slept 2 hours a day, literally, because we didn't have babysitters. So my husband was on one schedule. I was on another schedule. We were on different days off. So, and then I didn't want to miss things in their life. My husband would be like, I'm here now, so go get some sleep. And I'm like, no, I don't want to miss it. So I want to say for 8 years, maybe, I slept 2 hours a day. So I threw my own self out of whack.
You're lucky you got good skin, girl, because that shit ages you.
No, thank God. I'm like, wait. But no, so I did it for 18 years. Like it's been a long time coming, but I think that so the point of it is what works for us, right? We're just trying to give you tips and clues. And I'm not saying for you guys not to seek therapy if you feel that it's beyond your control, or some people don't have a social network of friends where you can relate or you can talk to. If you don't have those things set into place, please reach out to somebody. I don't want you guys to feel like because Brittany and I feel like it's not for us, that it's not for you. So if you're having those issues, if you need someone to talk to, please reach out. There are call lines. There are so many things that can help you to start feeling better. Did you want to say something, Dantisha?
Oh no, I was looking at a comment. I think, what is it? I can't see.
Michelle Marie.
Michelle Marie. It had to do with the diet and determining if you might have a vitamin deficiency. I will say this, like, what was it about? It's been about 4 or 5 years. So I did martial arts. There you go. That's the one right there. I was boxing, doing jujitsu, doing MMA. That is one of the times where I felt the best. My anxiety would, and see that, like, my stress reliever is I have like 3 bags, heavy bags. I have mats. I got a whole gym, or I will soon here in the new house in the garage. Physical fitness, yes, it does play a part. I would say nutrition, stuff like that, what you put in your body, that stuff does play a part. And I know that when I'm not in like tip top shape or whatever, but when I am taking care of myself, it does play a big part on your mental and how well you feel. And I know, Brittany, you remember, were they doing the resiliency thing when you were in the Army? Like, was it 4 pillars of resiliency? There was social, mental, physical, and
Spiritual.
Social.
Spiritual.
No, social.
You said social twice.
Was it? Oh yeah, spiritual, mental, physical, spiritual, and social. Something like that. Anyways.
Oh my gosh, how do you not know this? Like, you taught me about the 4 pillars and now you're like, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm having
oh
memory
my
loss.
Gosh.
Anyways, but I do, like, you got to take care of your health, like your mental health. You got to have conversations like this. I read books. I read anything that I feel like can help me out. Working out takes, taking care of yourself physically, what you take into your body, spiritually. I got it this time. And it doesn't mean Christianity or Muslim, whatever your spirituality is, but having something. Faith is not a bad thing. And then your social pillar, like if you have those pillars of resiliency, and you're feeding them and you're taking care of those pillars, it really does make a big difference in your life.
You want to hear a funny confession?
I passed it on.
I'm a person that likes to learn all the things, right? And I know I've said on here before, I'm a light agnostic. Like, that's just who I am. I have a spirituality from within, and whoever the hell wants to take me up there, let's go. Like, but so I took and be easy before y'all judge, because I know there's a lot of stigma about this, but I took an intro to Scientology class at this church in San Jose, right? In San Jose. And it's funny that you mentioned the 4 pillars. We didn't talk about that in the Air Force, but we did study like Maslow's hierarchy and stuff. When you go through your leadership school, it basically says that you need to appease all your needs and stuff. But they have 8 pillars in Scientology, and take the extremism out of it. Take all of, your Tom Cruises and South Park episodes that you've seen out of it. And I liked the intro class because it literally, there's 8 pillars of yourself, and you have to, if you've got all 7 up here and then you got 1 down here, you're not basically reaching that utmost happiness. So when you started talking about the 4 pillars, I was like, oh, pillars, like Scientology. Like, it just kind of popped in my head, which it was a helpful lesson. I'm not saying jump on that bandwagon or anything. If you're into that, that's cool. But I know it gets a lot deeper than the intro class. But It's true though, like you said, your mindset. And I think what a lot of people don't realize with the whole diet nutrition thing, if you just work on your nutrition alone, like nobody, you know, some people don't have time to work out. You know, we got kids, we got jobs, we got all these things that we got to worry about, and you don't have time to work out. But if you literally focus on taking sugar out of your diet, like something I say simple very lightly because that's hard for some people. But if you take sugar out of your diet and you focus on drinking your 60 to 100 ounces of water a day, I promise you, you will feel tenfold better. Just those two things. Because when you eat crappy foods, yes, you're lacking your vitamins, but even if you take like a vitamin to supplement, you're dragging yourself down. And when you have anxiety and you're dragged down by something you consumed, you don't get shit done because you get lethargic, you get tired, you're like, oh, I feel like crap, I ate too much because this food is so freaking good. And it's a ripple effect. It's not so much like, oh, don't eat that, it's bad. It's literally like what it does to you. And for the next 2 hours, because you're stuck because you ate too much damn Taco Bell, like someone does, then you know you're pissed because you're like, damn, 3 hours just went by and I didn't do shit because I'm stuffed off a bean burrito. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help when you have anxiety also, because it literally bogs you down.
That's the funny. That comment wins the night. Good.
No, yeah, I just, my 4 pillars, your 8 pillars, as long as it gets you from A to B. But that last comment with the people, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I think, Brittany, you said you were a general manager where? At what store?
Wendy's.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wendy's.
Hey, I like talking to people. I'm very social, but I realized at a very young age, me and customer service and the issues that I have, and maybe this goes into, maybe I did have anger problems. I don't think about it, but I'm with you. Like, people give me anxiety sometimes, and I try to work, I think it was like laundry drugs, and I was like 17 and a half or 18, and I couldn't do it. That drove me up the wall, just because you have to be like, put on a smile, and man, if I'm not feeling it that day, I'm not feeling it, and I can't fake it.
See, I always said I loved customer service because they're gone in 5 minutes. Like, that was always my mentality. It's like, hey, how's it going? Okay, bye. And like, we're done. But it was like the people that I would work with, like, for example, and I'll just throw an example out there. Like, we have bacon. Wendy's has bacon, right? And so they would literally, we'd be through like a dinner rush hour, and I'd be in the back dealing with like managerial stuff. I didn't have a floor manager because this is how messed up everything was, which is set for me to fail at the beginning. But so I'm trusting like my veterans who have worked there for a while, and then they come to me like, hey boss, you know, at like 6:30, like dinner rush, like, hey boss, we're out of bacon. And I'm like, wait, like we don't have any at all in the store, you know? And they're like, no, I think we do. We're just out. And I'm like, you know, it takes 20 minutes to cook. Why did you not be proactive, or at least tell me halfway? Like, that was the shit that I couldn't deal with. You wait till the last minute, and now I have to deal with like pissed off customers because you didn't think ahead. You know what I mean? Like, that was the stuff, like relying on other people for our success. It was too much. I was like, nope, I need to be an entrepreneur for the rest of my damn life.
So do you look at the
100%.
What are you eating? What you got, girl?
I don't have anything. I don't know what he's talking about. And I don't like Taco Bell. Taco Bell's gross, man. I eat that if I'm just trying to put something in my stomach real quick. But it's like ew. Blake started this rumor
about a pickle.
Right. I don't like pickles like that. It's rare if I have them. I have broccoli every day if you let me.
Miss Mendoza. I mean, Mommy.
Did you just call me Miss Mendoza? Sorry, my kids are in the car.
Mommy.
Who the hell is Miss Mendoza?
No, what'd you say was best for you? Did you hear this kid?
What do you say?
Taco Bell is the best for me.
What do you say?
Taco Bell. Their dad has got them hooked on Taco Bell because that's their dad's favorite thing to eat.
My two
So
youngest,
when
Smart
daddy
man.
gets Taco Bell,
my
they
two
get Taco
youngest
Bell.
kids, they love it.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
I'll pass. Give me some Chipotle.
Doritos taco.
Loco.
Doritos tacos. Hey, and I love Mexican food. Taco Bell's not Mexican food, but I'll Taco Bell up.
My two kids too.
Him and the kids. The kids are bean burritos, no onions, every time.
It's like the
Yeah,
fast
these are
food that
cheesy bean and rice burrito kids.
See, I'm a texture person, so I have to have something crunchy. Like, I just love Mexican food, period. But like, I love the Mexican, like real Mexican food. I love, but I also go hard on Taco Bell. Like, they're two different things to me. They're two different things. There's Taco Bell and there's Mexican food. Like, they're
How's your
different.
stomach
You
feel
can't
after
forget
you eat
it.
that? How's your
there's
stomach
like
feel?
like Mexican food's like what we're going to eat for lunch and dinner, and Taco Bell's like after you get. Well, I don't go to the club no more, but after the club or like late night munchie type stuff, or when I'm chilling with the kids, like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, mom life now. Taco Bell's whenever I leave the house. Like, damn right, I'm getting Taco Bell because I cook every damn day. Like,
She really does. We'll be talking and she's like, "Oh, I gotta cook dinner." I'm like, "Damn, girl, you better than me."
they're little still.
My husband's like, "You need to be here with Brittany."
Hey, this goes back to that whole anxiety and feeling bad about yourself, because I'll kill a whole box full of tacos or something, feel stuff like you were saying, and then after it, I'm like, so,
except when it's
I
ice
do
cream.
this to myself. Hey,
except when it's ice cream.
That's a whole other thing too.
You have to have something sweet after you eat. Come on.
No, it's so I have a couple issues. I have a lot of issues like outside of like the thinking of drinking. I like put a box of ice cream in there. Like I could not drink box of ice cream. That's like no. I'm be lucky if I don't touch it.
Right? I have to claim it. I have to claim it and be like, yo, that's mine. And you know what I end up getting? Only one bowl or a spoonful. That's it.
I can't tell you how many nights I've had to ask my husband, do I want a drink or do I want dessert? Because it's literally the hardest split of my life. Like, which one do I want?
Hey, right? Because you can't drink beer and eat ice cream. I was like, because if I could and it went together, I'm telling you, I might do it. But I like ice cream more than I like drinking.
You make a beer float. It might be a new thing. I want to say, Michelle, you are right, girl. Because when they were talking about Taco Bell, I'm like, no, that ain't no club night. That's some White Castles after Taco Bell. I mean, after a club.
We don't got White Castles here. We got like Jack in the Box, McDonald's.
No. If you guys ever come to Chicago, we got to get you some White Castle. You've not.
I'm judging my husband.
Look, I've had it.
Oh.
No,
do you guys eat chips after dinner?
Chips?
I don't even like chips with my burger sandwiches.
I'm a chip person.
I'm judging him because that's not a dessert food in my brain. So I judge him when he eats chips late at night. I'm like, what are you doing? At least have some ice cream. Good God, man.
You guys want to see what my son just sent me? He's in the room listening. His ass should be sleeping, to be honest. This is what my 17-year-old son sent me. Can you guys see it? He goes, White Castle is dog shit. Stop lying to them. He's literally like 10 feet from me. I'm surprised when I said about White Castle, he didn't say anything because they love White Castle. I mean, Taco Bell.
That's funny.
My son is a fool because it gives him the runs.
Donna said Jack in the Box egg rolls. That just touched my soul, girlfriend. Those are so good. That's my 2 a.m. Just
Yeah.
got fucked up. Now I'm eating all the
Jack in
menu
the Box.
items.
Yeah, Jack in the Box
Tacos.
tacos.
$1
Jack in the Box tacos. The chicken strips and the potato wedges. That's my jam.
So,
Have you guys had the mini loaded tacos though?
Not yet.
So I was in.
I don't eat a lot of fast food anymore. I used to. I don't eat very much fast food anymore. But when I do, Jack in the Box is my go-to. Huh, babe?
My cousins live in California. And so when we go visit them, we were out we weren't out. We were at their house like drinking and chilling. And they were like, oh, we need some Jack in the Box tacos. We went and got like fucking 60 tacos. Because I think they're 2 for $1 or some shit, right?
Hey, no shit. That's like, that must be like a thing. That's like when you know the line's taking long and there's only like 3 cars and they hand out like 4 or 5 bags. You're like, this dude just bought all the tacos and I ain't gonna get shit.
So I do know about that California after hours.
Yes.
Lit.
And that one time,
you're either going there or
that.
Denny's. You're going there
Oh,
or you're going to
Denny's.
Denny's, depending on how fucked up you are.
Denny's, yes, or Nations.
I'm all Denny's or Nations. Denny's
Yeah,
also
Nations.
depends on the city.
Yeah.
What part of California do you guys live in? Like more or less, like LA, right?
Central Valley. We're legit in the middle of California. We're in between Stockton and Modesto and Tracy.
Because there's a place we went to, and it's by where are the rich people at? Where the mall
The
is?
rich people
all over. It's California.
No. It's
There's a place called Black Hawk.
No, it's not Black Hawk. I think it starts with a B, but it's like a certain part. I think like.
Which side of the bay?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of close to. I don't know if is it close to LA. Damn, I'm gonna have to text my cousin right now.
You talking about
Burbank?
Yeah.
Burbank.
I would say like, yeah, LA's got a lot of areas. Burbank, Malibu.
There's a restaurant there. It's like a breakfast spot. And man, their menu is fucking lit. It is.
Who?
It's some restaurant there. Like it's for breakfast. They have like every kind of pancake under the sun.
Oh, IHOP?
No.
It's not.
No, a different one. I was like, IHOP sucks.
It's no.
But they have hella pancakes. That's why I asked.
No. It's like I know the wait. If you get there late, you have to wait for hours. Let me ask her. She's up.
Scott says California knows how to party. Hey, where'd Suni go? She's still on here?
No, she's not.
Oh. Well, I know she's not on the picture. I meant in the comments.
I just asked her what's the name of it. But yeah, so you guys, like, if you guys are going through something, like, try to figure out ways that you know what your triggers are. And if you can't, then you should probably, because none of us are professionals, right? I just want to make that very clear. We're not professionals. We're not telling you what to do. We're just trying to help you get through those hard times. And if you do need help, there's nothing wrong with it. Go and get help. You don't have to tell anybody about it. If you're like very prideful, you don't have to tell anyone about it. And, make sure if you do not like your counselor and you don't relate to your counselor, like, make sure you ask for a different one. Like, I know for a fact that people have issues with counselors. My daughter is a psychologist, and she tells me like little things, and she says that there are people who should not be doing that job because they are very one-sided, and if they don't think like you, then they can't relate to you. And so she's like, they just are very unprofessional. So if they give you a problem or you feel that you cannot relate to them or anything about them makes you feel uncomfortable, request a different one. Period.
Yeah, and just ask for help no matter what. Like, that was the hardest part for me. And I think a lot of us, like the women, tend to you know, hold it in because, you know, what have you. They either can't put it into words or they just don't want to bother anybody. Whereas men, they feel they have to be like the strong figure and they don't want to bother anybody else about it, or they feel they have to be tough in some scenarios, or just, you know, they have to be the strong ones. And so honestly, like, it took another veteran who's a Marine veteran to be like, Brittany, dig deep, like, just bring it out. It's okay to talk about it. Like, it's all right to let it out. And I'm like, damn, you know, you're right. Like, there was actually there's this like movement, I guess, going around social media, and the lady, one of the representatives, she messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to be a model? And it was like on Instagram, so luckily she didn't have to see that I read it because I would have felt bad. But she was like, hey, do you want to be a representative or a model for our shirts, you know? And I like went to the page, and it was these shirts that said it's okay to not be okay. And like, I thought about it for a second, and I was like, you know, it is, but I don't want this to be like the new, like, comfortable in your own skin, so I'm going to be extremely overweight movement. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, I was just kind of like, yes, it's okay to admit you have a problem, but what are we going to do about it now? You know what I mean? Like fix it. Don't just sulk in your own, and don't think that it's never going to get better or any of these things, and don't keep them to yourself, obviously. Like, yes, it's okay to be okay, but what are we going to do about it? And I say we because you have to have a we. Like even the strongest people I know have had a we in there. You know what I mean? So there has to be a we. You just have to figure out who it is. It might not even be the person you think it's going to be. It might be somebody else that you just relate to a little more. So just do not hesitate whatsoever to talk to somebody. Find that person and confide in them.
Hey, I want to back you up on that. There is. So I've learned one thing. I've learned many things, but if I learned one thing, it was community. So the we part. We all need community. Not saying we need friends, because some of us we don't want friends, or we don't need them. We like, you know, we might be antisocial, but we all need community. We all need people at some point, because we're not meant to live this life or go through this life alone and by ourselves. We're really not. At some point, you're going to need somebody, unless you're like some solo person out in the middle of the wilderness, and that's you. Those people are rare. We're all meant to live with other people, and we need other people to help us progress through life. So we all need community. I'm gonna leave you guys with that, because I got to step out. And again, like I'm gonna echo what you guys said. We're here, so somebody needs to talk. You guys could. Oh, I'm not in the chats, but you guys can find John Tisha, and then find me from there, and I'll hear you out, or you know, whatever. I'm not too big or for anything like that, because I've lost a couple friends due to depression, anxiety, suicide. Like they've went down some dark roads, and if I could give you that one word of hope that'll help you make it to the next day, shoot me a message and I'll do it. Because to me, I think I don't have very many regrets, but some of the regrets I have is knowing that people were struggling and thinking, "Oh, they got this on their own. They don't need me. They're good." And then they've either got in trouble, got locked up, or they're not here no more. So if you guys need something, let us know. Shelly, thank you for. I kind of just jumped on.
I had something. I sent some invite too.
Oh, I kind of been. We're still unpacking. Like this whole move thing's got us. This goes back to my insight. Like as you guys were talking earlier, I'm still cleaning up because it was on my mind.
And he wouldn't stop yesterday either.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was irritated because I just laid on the bed watching him.
Yeah, I had to get myself put away.
In my head, I was like,
this
guy is still going. He's just gonna go until he fixes it. So I'm just gonna stay out of his way.
I had to. But Brittany, good night. Suni, good night, or afternoon or morning or whatever it is where you're at.
So she just blocked you.
Right. And yeah, see you guys later.
Bye, Chris.
Sometimes.
So
I guess, is that my spot? I don't know.
what?
I don't know. I was just gonna say, echo all of that. What I will say is that I did go see a counselor when I was having that rough patch. It turned into marriage counseling, and that was like, because he went with me, it was for me, and then it turned into marriage counseling. And then that was probably like one of the best things that could have helped us communication wise. And I will encourage anyone and everyone to not be afraid to communicate, not be afraid to say something and to speak up, because we are all very good liars. We're all very good at hiding things when we don't want people to know what they are. We're all very good at it. And even the people closest to you are going to miss some things if you're not honest about it. If you're not honest with yourself about what's going on, and you're not, which then stops you from being honest to the other people that are around you. And I'm just gonna let you know now, some of them are gonna miss the signs. Some of them are gonna miss the little cues that might be there. But that doesn't mean that they don't love you, or that they don't care about you, or whatnot. So I would encourage you, like he said before, we lost a few friends. He lost a friend, I think a month before I lost a friend, both to suicide. And so that year we kind of had a rough time. But one thing that we realized was all those things that I just said, is that sometimes you are going to miss that. You are just going to talk to them, and you're not going to know what's going on. And at that point, after all that happened, one of the things that we told I said to myself, he said to himself, we said together, was that together, we didn't want to be those people when we went to the memorial service or something that were always like, you know what, this is a sad thing to happen, but I'm really glad that we're together. We got to make this happen more often, blah, 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 which we all say, we all have done and said probably multiple times in our life. We didn't want to be those people anymore that just said it and never followed through. So we do our best to check in with people, maybe not every single day, maybe not every week, but when it comes to mind, instead of putting it off, we at least try. And I always offer to all the viewers, if there's any moment that you ever feel like your anxiety is getting too much, or maybe you're struggling just a little bit, and you don't know how to get through, or you don't have anybody to talk to, or a sounding board, my inbox is always open. I'm a really, really good listener. And if there's any way that I can help you, I will. Just remember to breathe and let go. And just remember that we don't control everything outside of ourselves, and you have the power within you to do that yourself.
So on that note, we are going to end this live. If you guys want to hang around for a little minute so we could talk backstage. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video. If you have not followed us on our YouTube, please follow us on our YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the little bell. We would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, you guys have a great night.